Do you have a Gen 2 Arkrocket jukebox and you just got done upgrading the record player? You want it to look like a Gen 3? Well, stay tuned because I'm going to show you how to go from this. Obviously, we're not going to go to this, but stay tuned because I'm going to show you how to update this thing to a Touchjams. Okay, so we got something new from the manufacturers at Arkrocket, and they sent me a faceplate for the Gen 3 jukebox. And they have assured me that this faceplate will retrofit onto the Gen 2s. Now, I never did like the Gen 2 faceplate. I always thought about like getting rid of it, putting some kind of display in there, something more aesthetically appealing than what they have now with this guitar and the word jukebox. I always thought that was kind of stupid. So they ended up sending me this, and it's kind of cool because they have on the end caps, they have these magnetic remote holders. So instead of putting your remotes in that little tray in the back of the jukebox, you could just stick them straight to the front of your jukebox. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to open this thing up because that's unfortunately the only way you're going to be able to change this out. I mean, you got 4 screws in the front that'll take out, but unfortunately there's going to be 4 screws in the back. So along the way, while we're doing this project, we're going to do a little bit of other modifications, and I'll answer some other questions that other people have asked me along the way. So just stay tuned and we'll get this thing open and we'll see where it goes from there. All right, so like I said before, to get started, the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to release these 4 screws in the front. Now, once we take out those 4 screws, these end caps will come off, and then the other, I believe it's 4 or 6 screws are going to be from the inside. Now, while we're at the front of this thing, I want to answer some questions that other people have had because I've heard this a lot from other people and from reviews on Amazon with the Gen 1s that these tubes here, the LEDs, apparently fail. Now, I don't know if that's like a manufacturing defect or maybe there was just a bad batch of lights that some people got. But the question is how do you change these LEDs? Now, I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it. I'm not going to show you because my lights are working, but how to change it is there's going to be 4 screws at the bottom. There's going to be one here, then there'll be another one over here, and another one down here. And then there's actually going to be this little clip right here. You're going to have to take this off. This has 3 screws. And once you take that clip off, there's going to be 2 screws down here. You'll have to release these 2 screws. And then on this side, there's going to be another 2 screws. And you'll see this thing is loose now. At the top, there's going to be 2 more screws over here. Then you're going to repeat the process on the other side. You're going to take the 3 screws out from over here. That's going to take that clip out. There's going to be the 2 over there. You're going to take those 2 out, and the 4 down here. And this whole tube is going to come out. Now, the unfortunate thing is you're still going to have to go inside and you're going to have to open the back up to get to the actual LED controller because there's going to be holes inside of here which the LED tape light will run through. So that's the unfortunate thing. If your lights do take a crap, you're still going to have to go inside the box to change the controller out. But other than that, let's get these end caps off. That'll answer the question about the tube lights that I've had in the past, and I just never really made a video about it, and I figured I'd kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But let's move on. Let's get this faceplate off, and let's take it from there. Okay, so we got the back plate off, got the amps out of the way, and it looks like this is going to be pretty easy. It's not as hard as I thought it was going to be. So you're actually only going to have 2 screws. The first screw is going to be right there. So let me see if I could, bear with me, I'm going to zoom in on it. That is going to be your first screw right there. Then your second screw is actually going to be down here at the bottom. Let's see if I can point that out. And that's that screw right there. So it's only 2 screws that hold that whole plate in. So if you're lucky and you haven't upgraded and you didn't put amps in, this should be a very simple upgrade for you. You're just going to take the back plate off, and then you're just going to take those 2 screws out, and that whole plate will come in. Now, while we're here, I just want to touch up on the LED tubes, the controller pack, and the controller module. So if you've had that problem where your LED tube lights have failed, this is what I was talking about. So the main controller pack is going to be right here. It's going to be this right here. That's your LED controller pack. And that pack runs through that hole right there. And then the power supply for the LED controller pack is going to be right here. This is the LED controller pack's power supply. And then you'll see that the tube lights will actually run through those holes right here. There's going to be a hole here, and there's going to be another hole right over there. So those holes right there will lead to your tubes in the front. So that's why I told you, unfortunately, just by taking the front tube out is not going to solve your problem. You still got to come inside, and you still got to go through the back and do all that stuff to change your LED tube lights out. So I just wanted to touch up on that because I've been asked that question a couple times. So let's get these 2 screws out, put the other one in, and let's see what it looks like. All right, so once you get those 2 screws from the back, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to kind of like feel right in this area right here. There is actually a screw behind this sticker. So it's going to be like right about there, and you can see the indent. So what you'll do is you'll just take your screwdriver and you'll pop a hole in the sticker, and then you'll turn and release those 2 screws, which will essentially pull the whole faceplate out. Now, just out of curiosity, I saw 2 additional screws in the back, and I was kind of curious of what they did and why they were there. So I took them out, and it actually just released this hinge door. So at one point, this must have been for something else. Maybe they were going to put the CD player in there. Who knows what they were going to do. But this is actually a hinge door. And they had actually put these 2 screws in there to prevent the door from opening. And they also glued it. So that's what those 2 screws were. But essentially, it's only going to be the 2 screws in the front right here for the end caps, the 2 screws inside, and these 2 screws right here behind the stickers. All right, so now we got the entire faceplate out, and we have the new one we're gonna put in, and this one's just gonna go like this right here, like that. And then the other one is gonna have these 2 standoffs right there, and those 2 standoffs are just gonna go right there in that hole like this. Wait a second. Oh, what the? What? Are you serious? These don't even line up. Son of a mother bitch. Mother. Alright, so here we are about 2 weeks later, and after doing some research and some twinkling with some ideas on what I'm going to do with this, now that I've taken the old plate out and I got this plate here that's completely useless to me. I mean, I could have made this work, but it would have took a lot of modifying to this cabinet to make this work. I mean, these screw holes, none of them line up. The end caps here would have to be pushed over, re-drilled, and I just can't promote a product like that that's gonna take that many modifications. I mean, I'm kind of looking for a plug-and-play product from a manufacturer, and this is just not the one. I mean, that's just not gonna work. So I've always had this ambition, I've always had this thought, this dream to sit here and try to turn this jukebox into a childhood memory from when I used to play pool. And at the pool hall, we used to have those touch screens jukeboxes. I forgot what they were called. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But so anyway, my journey began online, and I came up with Touchjams. Now, Touchjams is perfect. It's like that 90s childhood dream that I've always thought of when I used to play at the pool hall, and we used to just throw in quarter after quarter, dollar after dollar, playing songs all night long until the pool hall closed. And why I wanted to go this route was because it gives it that 90s retro feeling to this jukebox. And after doing a lot of research and looking online for the perfect screen for it, I came up with this one. And this one is just going to fit right here, just like this. And it's just going to line up right here, just like that. So we're going to have a flat screen, and those magnetic end caps, we're still going to be able to use those, because all we're going to do is we're going to take these magnetic caps and we're going to take these standoffs right here, and we're just going to put them right here in these holes like this. And then we'll just put big washers in the back with the screws to secure it on there, and then the screen will go through there. We'll cover up this, and then the screen will cover up that. Now, the unfortunate thing, the only thing I really have to modify with this, the way I have it set up, is right here. You're going to see the HDMI is going to, unfortunately, it doesn't fit in the hole. So the micro USB will fit in this hole, but the HDMI won't. So you'll see right there, we're going to have to notch this out, which is a lot better. It doesn't require a lot of math like it would have with the plate that the manufacturer sent me. So just to give you a rundown of Touchjams, if you don't know exactly what it is, I mean, it's a really good software product. And the best thing that I like about it is that you can also hook up a second screen to this thing. And not only that, you can also hook up one of these beta brights so that it will play the name of the song that's playing at the jukebox at the same time. And with that other second screen, you could actually do music videos. So I was also thinking of taking a step further, having the Beta Bright at the top up here, and maybe another TV screen for music videos. I mean, the potential is endless with this software, and apparently I've read a lot of reviews. This guy that created this, I can't remember his name, but he's really good, and he has great support. And just to give you an overview of the whole thing, we could take a look just real quick. It also comes with a download of a free demo there. So you can download the touchscreen software to your PC, try it out for 10 days. You got 150 turns. They also will give you a 15% off coupon in case you decide you want to use it, which was really nice. So I ended up demoing it, and I put it on this mini PC. Now I'm going to have links to everything in the description to show you exactly what I purchased and how I'm going to put it in. I've decided I've also am going to put the mini PC inside the jukebox, so that way there'll be less stuff hanging out the back. And because of that decision, I'm actually going to drill the hole in the back plate so that I could have the HDMI port right here, the grommet, for the second TV screen to do the music videos. And then this USB port will also be for the Beta Bright, and I could unplug the Beta Bright, and for that I could also upload more music videos to the PC that way. So let me get everything together here. We're going to start notching this out over here. I'm going to take you step by step. As far as the software programming and all that, I'm not going to get into that because I'm not a big PC guy. I'm more of a Mac guy. And I'm going to have a friend who's going to help me out set this thing up so that when it loses power, it will automatically turn itself back on when it sees power. I know that Macs, I believe, aren't capable of doing that. I could be wrong, but PCs are. So I'm going to have my friend set that up, and then we'll get this screen in there, and we'll take it from there. All right, so we got the hole all notched out, and I got the HDMI cable just sitting in here like that. And then we got the screen here. Now I decided to go with the command strips only because of the fact that this screen that I picked, unfortunately, it does not have any reviews on it. I think it has like one review and that's it. So I don't know the reliability of the screen. So being that said, I didn't want to permanently put anything on there that might just take a dump on me in a couple months. So that's why I decided to go with the command strips. That way, if this does take a crap, I can go ahead and change it out with another one. So now I'm going to put links in the description of exactly each cable and where you can purchase them from. And so that way you won't have to worry about trying to find the right components and stuff like that. But I'm not trying to promote anybody's stuff. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm not, I love Amazon. It's just easy for me. And if you want to buy your own stuff, that's fine. But let me just point out to you the type of stuff that you will need. So you're going to need this HDMI 90 degree. So if you decide not to buy whatever I put in the link in the description, just make sure the one that you buy, that it is face down like this. You don't want to get the one that's like that, because then you'll be screwed. Because if you look right here, you'll see all of the imports are like this. So that's even the same thing with the micro USB. It's facing down. You don't want to get the one that's like this, then you'll be screwed. So what we're going to do is we're just going to plug these two in right here, and then we're only going to plug in on the touch, okay? Because this is a touch screen, so the touch screen option on this is also going to be powered from the USB, so we won't need the power cable. So let me go ahead and make the connections and get this thing mounted on the screen, and we'll take it from there. All right, so we got the screen all mounted up. I got my end caps in, and I did the big washers like I said I was going to do, and then I actually hot glued it from the back just to give it a little bit more stabilization on it. Now, here's the bad thing. For anyone that has an Arkrocket Gen 2 jukebox, you're unfortunately not going to have this option because the manufacturer sent me these. But if you have an Arkrocket Gen 3 and it comes with a new faceplate, this would be the perfect modification for you, because you're going to be able to use those bigger end caps to cover those holes up. It's just these Arkrocket Gen 2, the end caps are a lot smaller, so you're not going to be able to cover that hole up. So you're going to kind of have to get creative on how you're going to cover the two holes up. Now, there is one thing that my buddy told me about when he programmed the computer for me. He did say that, hey, are you going to put some kind of fan in that thing if you decide to put the computer inside the jukebox so it doesn't overheat? And I said, no, I don't think that'll be an issue, because it's going to be down here in the man cave in the basement. And it's pretty cool down here all year round. But for someone who's going to have this in maybe a house that's not air conditioned, or a cabin or something like that, some kind of vacation home where it's going to be hot, you are going to want to have some kind of fan unit to cool off the mini PC if you decide to put the mini PC inside the jukebox. Now, one thing I had thought about, and I was actually thinking about doing it, but then I said, you know what, I don't need to do it. But I thought about that actually to cover those holes up, I could have put some RGB fans on both sides that would have turned colors, and they would have actually cooled off the interior of the amps and the mini PC. But thinking about, being in the basement and it wasn't going to be an issue, and I had these end caps on hand, I figured, you know what, I'm not going to go that route. I'm just going to keep it simple. But that's just an idea for someone who may have a Gen 2 and is thinking of some way that they can cover those holes up, because like I said, these aren't going to work. So that's just one idea. So, you're going to have to get creative if you have a Gen 2. Okay, so now we're going to move to the back. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to drill the hole for the HDMI USB connection grommet here. So if you've done an upgrade and you've looked at my other videos and you've put in your bushing so you could run cables in and out of your cabinet, this should be very easy for you. All you're going to do is you're just going to come and you're just going to drill like maybe 1 inch to 2 inches over here. This is a safe zone in this area. So for anybody who hasn't done any upgrade for a bushing to run through, you're actually going to be right in this area. Maybe about a 6 inch circle right in this area is all a free zone. There's like no wires or cables or anything that are in the way. A safe bet would just be to go between the two right here, come about maybe 3 to 4 inches in this general area, and this is all a safe zone. There's nothing behind here. So we're just going to drill right here for the grommet, and then we'll put the grommet in next. All right, so we got the grommet all in, and now we're going to talk about placement of the PC and connections. Now, you're probably wondering, how in the hell is this guy going to connect this mini PC up to this Touchjams software and have all this stuff work together in harmony? So let's talk about connections. So you will see here that the mini PC that I have chosen is going to have 2 HDMI outputs and a 3.0 USB connection on the side of it. There's going to be 2 of those, and there are also some standard USB connections, and one of the USB standard connections in the back next to the HDMI connection is going to be where I'm going to plug in my touchscreen to power up the touchscreen and give the functionality to the touchscreen itself. One HDMI connection is going to go to the touchscreen, and the second HDMI connection is going to actually go to the grommet that you just ran. Now that grommet HDMI connection is going to be for future upgrade in case I ever want to hook up a secondary screen above the jukebox for music videos. The USB that also goes to that grommet is going to be so I can upload music files to the mini PC, because I have opted to put the mini PC in the jukebox because I didn't want a bunch of clutter on the back of the jukebox, because the first thing you see when you come down to this man cave is the back of the jukebox. So I wanted it to look clean. So that's that. Now, how do we get the sound out of the mini PC to the jukebox? Well, it's going to be very simple, very easy. What we're going to be doing is we're going to hook up a 3.5 millimeter cable, and we're actually going to take that 3.5 millimeter cable that goes to your headphones, the output for your headphones on your mini PC, and we're going to take this 3.5 cable that goes to your jukebox, and you're going to either need a female to female connector, so you could sit here and connect these two, and then that will get your sound into the jukebox. Or if you have done your record player upgrade like I have in one of the previous videos, we could just plug into the other channel on the 3.5 millimeter switch. Now, being with the way I ended up doing this, I ended up putting my mini PC on the shelf that I built for my amps. Now, the unfortunate thing with that is that the 3.0 USBs that are on this side, there's not enough room to plug in sideways. So I'm going to need a 90-degree adapter so I can plug in from the side of it. But that's no big problem. But if you ended up putting your mini PC on the outside, you shouldn't have to worry about that. That shouldn't be a big problem for you. I mean, it's going to be a lot easier for you if you put the mini PC on the outside. But like me, I wanted to put it on the inside. It all depends on where you mount this mini PC. All right, so here's the final product. This is what my final project looks like. This is how I did it. So the mini PC is up here on this shelf. You could see that I put the 90-degree adapter for the USB grommet wire that's going right here. And then we have the 3.5 millimeter cable, which is going to go through this bushing, and it's going to come out here, and it's going to go into our switch over there. We'll see all that in a minute when we get everything back together. And like I said, I had one of my good friends hook up this PC so that when it loses power and it sees power again, it's going to automatically start up. And it's also been programmed so that the Touchjams software, upon startup, will automatically start up. So that way it makes the jukebox more user-friendly, especially when you're down here in the man cave at the bar having some drinks and stuff like that. People are drunk. They're not going to want to sit there and try to start up some software on a jukebox. This thing's going to be fully automated. It's going to do all the work on its own. So with all that being said, let me get this thing buttoned back up and let's get it together. Okay, so here it is, all finished, all wired up. This is exactly how it will look if you've gone ahead and did all the upgrades that you've seen through all my other videos. But if not, you might have the mini PC out here on the outside. That's up to you. And you would just plug in that cable. It would go straight to this cable that goes to the jukebox with the female 3.5 to 3.5 connection like I talked about earlier. But if you are putting the PC on the inside, you're going to use a switch. And the reason why you're going to use a switch is because you're going to want to do isolation from the auxiliary to play the record player. Now, there's a whole video about that where you can get better quality sound if you isolate your auxiliaries from your actual jukebox. So that's the end of that. I'm not going to get too much into that. You'll have to watch the other video. Here's your grommet. You'll have your 3.0 USB right here. So if you want to upload more songs into the mini PC, it could be done through here. You'll have the HDMI 2, which is for a later date if I ever want to run another monitor up above and play music videos, which I probably will. But I'm not going to say I will at this point because my wife's probably pretty pissed off as it is already, as much money as I spent on this jukebox. So anyway, moving on. So I have auxiliary 2 right here. It's stickered. And there's another sticker on the front of the touchscreen. That's auxiliary 1. So for now, I'm just going to leave it to auxiliary 1 because that's going to be my new toy, my new mainstay right there where I'm just going to want to play with the Touchjams. So hopefully this thing is programmed correctly. My buddy programmed it so that when I turn off the power to the jukebox and power is reestablished, the mini PC should start right up and the Touchjam software should just boot right up and this thing should be ready to go. So let's push this thing back to where it goes. Let's fire it up, hit that Phillips Hue button and see if everything works like it should. Okay, so here we are. We got her all pushed back in her spot. She's ready to be fired up. But before I fire this thing up, I just want to touch up on some things before I do. It's been one hell of a long road getting to where I am right now. And it sucks that I could not use this. I mean, it sucks. Am I pissed off that a manufacturer sent me something that said was going to work and I tore my whole jukebox apart on his word that it was going to work? Yeah, I mean, it sucks. It is what it is, though. I mean, is it his fault? Maybe a little bit, but I could see exactly how the conversation went down. He probably went to his tech, asked him, hey, is this going to fit on a Gen 2? And the tech probably said, yeah, sure. But did he forget to mention that it would take a lot of modification to get it fit? Yeah, he probably did. But whatever. I mean, when I get lemons, I like to make lemonade. And I have to tell you folks that this is one hell of a pitcher of lemonade right here. With that being said, I did get the end caps, okay? And after I installed the end caps, I'm like, wow, oh, this is going to be great. I could sit here and hold my remote on here like that. But looking at it, I'm just like, wow, that's kind of cheesy. It's a little. So I don't think I would just keep my remotes there all the time. I mean, maybe if I was drunk and I'm entertaining, I'd probably throw them up there. But to keep them up there all the time, it just looks a little cheesy. But whatever. Moving on, I just want to mention that if you do have a Gen 2, this is going to be a little bit of a challenging upgrade for you because you're not going to have the pleasure of owning these Gen 3 end caps because you didn't get them from the manufacturer and you're stuck with the Gen 2 end caps. So you're going to have to be creative with trying to cover those holes up right there. And like I said, if you're not keeping this thing in an air-conditioned environment or you're not keeping it in the basement, you're going to need to circulate air within this jukebox, especially if you're putting the PC on the inside. Now, like I said, you could put RGB fans there, make it a little decorative. I mean, it's up to you, however you want to do it. So there is one thing that I would like to throw out here before I fire this thing up. And I've never done this on my show before, but I have to give credit where credit is due. Now, I have to say, I want to give a shout out, actually 2 shots out to 2 people. The first one is going to be Mr. MT Beer 77. Now, if it wasn't for watching this guy's Monster Jukebox video, I wouldn't have known what the hell I would have done with this jukebox. I probably would have ended up putting the old face plate back on and mother effing the manufacturer for God knows how long. But I saw his video and then I was just like blown away by this whole Touchjams software and the capabilities that it had and what it does. And seeing this guy's jukebox, I was like, wow, that is just crazy. And once he told me about the Better Bright, and I got these things all over the basement, I was just like, I was sold at that point. I'm like, I gotta have that. And then he told about how it could have a second screen for music videos. And I'm like, that's great because I got this screen that drops down from the ceiling. I can envision it now. I'll have one that drops down here with the Better Bright. I can watch music videos. I mean, the possibilities are endless with this software. Not only that, it can also accept a coin machine. You could set this thing up so it'll take quarters. Now, I'm not going that far. I'm telling myself enough is enough and I have to stop. The Better Bright, the TV screen, no coins. Why would I do that? I don't know. Why would I do that? But anyway, that's it. I'm stopping right there. Mr. MT Beer 77, thank you. You are a savior, my man. Thank you very much. My second shout out is going to be to MK, my buddy at work. Now, he's a pretty smart kid when it comes to PCs, and I'm just like PC lazy. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to learn about it. I'm a Mac guy, and when it comes to PCs, I don't even want to hear about it. So that's why this entire video, you're not going to see anything about programming the PC or how to do this with the PC. I mean, there's plenty of other videos that you could watch on YouTube that'll show you exactly how to run this program. And it's not hard, people. It's not hard at all. If you have a PC, you go to the website, you download the program, and then it looks for music files on your PC, and then it's ready to go. It's just that simple. But my problem is trying to get this thing to work with the Philips Hue button and the Philips Hue smart switch and having this thing start up automatically. So that way, when we're all sitting at the bar, we're all drunk, we don't want to sit here and try to figure out how to get software going on a jukebox. So, thank you very much, MK. Without further ado, let's turn this thing on and see if the kid did his job. All right. So it should fire up here soon. And like I said, this is not a top-of-the-line computer. It's just a $99, I want to say, with a $10 coupon computer. It's a mini PC. We're not going to be surfing the web or anything like that. We're just going to have this thing stuck in there, and it's just going to play our Touchjams software. That's all it is. So far so good. It has started up as soon as it saw power. Doesn't have a password. It's just going to automatically boot up. The program should start. It is a little slow. I can't remember. I want to say it's 6 gig or something like that. It does have a SSD. So there it goes. We're looking so far so good. Let's see if the program will start. And I did opt for a rosewood skin. Now they have all kinds of skins that come with the program, and you could actually go online to download other skins. Now I went with the rosewood because the cabinet is a walnut and it kind of matches pretty good. So you'll see that here in a second. So there's the Touchjams software starting up. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Beautiful, people. Beautiful. Look at that. Oh, that is nice. All right, so we're going to turn it on. All right, and then we're going to put it to mode PH. So it's in mode PH, which is record player, but since we have the auxiliary switch, we're already in auxiliary 1 for the Touchjams. And oh man, this is sweet. So let's try not to get copyrighted here. Let's stick with a classic, and we'll do this one. Play. And then let's see what else we'll do. That one. Play. Oh man, that's nice. I like that. Let's skip. Oh man, that is sweet. It like blended the two songs together. That is awesome. Oh man, I gotta tell you, if you're on the fence with doing some stuff like this to your jukebox, what are you waiting